Hello. Welcome in. We are back with more Beacon Pines.
Chapter 7.
Hi, Mark. Welcome in.
The Interrogation of Hiram Tolliver.
This is where we left off. We found some... Let's see.
Still
Oh,
unconscious,
it's not gonna let me.
Mr. Tolliver slumped heavily in a shoddy old chair.
Cool, we'll go over the recap in a second here.
His hands were bound with rope, his feet tied with some loose string. The kids huddled in a circle, discussing their plan. One thing was certain, they couldn't just let Mr. Tolliver go. They needed to know what he was doing in Luka's house. After some deliberation, it was decided.
They'd run the classic good cop, something cop interrogation. Well, for now it's gonna be chill. Basically, what happened last time, A, my voice was gone, or very husky, and B, we learned a lot of information about the town, and there's a sort of underlying plot that involves grandma working with the mayor's family. There's a whole subplot of not the original founding fertilizer company, but like some perennial harvest, I think they're called, some other company that wants to like cultivate the land, and there's something bad going on with them, like they're poisoning the water or they're using some weird fucking chemicals. And there's this whole like weird story happening, and we're currently trying to figure it out as a bunch of preteen kids.
They'd run the classic good cop, chill cop interrogation.
I don't know what the fuck that means. I'll handle it. Just gotta play it cool.
Luka walked calmly to the light switch, flicking it off and on a few times. Mr.
Flash
Tolliver
warning?
shook his head, gathering his wits.
Golly, I sure got my bell
He
rung.
looked over to find Luka, who returned a calming grin.
Sorry, Mr. Tolliver. This was all a big mistake. Luka, what's going on here? Why do you have me strapped down? No one's fault, really. Rollo just got a little startled. Rollo's here.
Rollo and Beck emerged from hiding to give a timid wave.
Hi. Well, alright. Mistakes happen. You kids gave old Hiram a good scare. Let's just give me all these ropes and call it even.
Luka glanced over to Rollo and Beck, who replied with skeptical looks.
Mr. Tolliver, why are you in my grand's basement? I'm here to help, of course. Help with what? What's my grand up to? If you'll just cut me loose, I can show you. How do I know we can trust you?
Mr. Tolliver exhaled with disappointment.
Luka, have I ever done wrong by you? No. And since your grand moved to town, haven't I been nothing but welcoming? Yeah. So why would I turn my back on your family now? It's just, all this stuff seems pretty weird. A board with names of people from town, an archive of my dad's old disturbing patient notes,
Luka gestured to the corner.
barrels of explosives? I can explain everything. You just need to untie me. You could serve an explanation.
Luka looked again.
He's
to
gonna
Rollo
book
and
it.
Beck.
He's gonna sprint, I swear to God.
This time they shrugged. Luka began to slowly loosen the bindings. Mr. Tolliver gently rubbed his wrists.
That's a good lad. This all makes sense in time. Oh, he's like,
He edged
Scooting.
imperceptibly toward the stairs as he spoke.
he's inching. He's scooting towards the stairs. You see, this town has secrets, Luka. A very dark past, indeed.
Before the kids had even noticed his movement, Mr. Tolliver was at the light switch.
A pass that must be brought to...
He punctuated his final words by flicking the switch and rushing up the stairs.
light. Son of a...
Darted to the wall and turned back on the lights. It was too late. Rollo confirmed what they all heard.
He just locked us down here.
Mr. Tolliver's muffled voice came from behind the door.
I wasn't lying, you know. Or, excuse me, sorry. I wasn't lying, you know. This is for your own good. You kids just keep tight down there and let the adults handle this.
They looked bewildered at each other.
Play it cool, huh? Not now, Beck.
They heard the staccato thump of quick steps exiting the house. The kids looked down in resignation.
Oh, they're trying really hard.
This isn't how it goes in Hank Atomic. For some reason, they'd always assumed it was up to them to save their town. Luka opened his mouth, hoping to conjure some magical words to make this right. Only a hollow croak escaped. The end.
Oh, I figured that
We
was...
certainly aren't going to find a grand resolution to our tale locked in a basement.
Nope.
Back to the drawing board.
Yep. Okay. So we have a couple routes that I don't think we've quite finished. So this one we have Rumble. When we... I believe we met Beck's mom's. It looked like the sky was about to pour into a rainstorm, which led us here. Luka began to respond, but the sky answered for him as the clouds above him began to rumble.
Luka began to respond, but the sky answered for him as the clouds above began to rumble with ominous thunder.
A fun fact. Actually, two fun facts. One, I am terrified of storms. And two, the bass of that hurt my ears of the fake thunder. You sure we can make it home before the storm kicks off?
Luka surveyed the roiling clouds.
I'd say the odds are good. Maybe you should just stay here and I'll make a break for it.
At that moment, the heavens opened up, unleashing torrential rain.
Care to recalculate those odds? Hurry inside, you two, before you catch a cold. Oh, cute, little loft bed. Luka, Nellie will keep trying to reach your gran on the phone. In the meantime, you two hold tight. Sorry, not much to do up here. Most of my stuff's still in the boxes. Mind if I poke around? Be my guest.
Luka squinted into the eye hole of the microscope.
This looks wild. What is it? Gum. Gum?
Luka adjusted the slide with his fingers to get a better look.
I'm tracking the structural integrity of gum with increasing amounts of chewing. Chewed that one for 47 days. Ew. Oh, that's so gross.
Luka wiped his hand off on his sweater and gave a nervous laugh.
It's weird, I know.
Beck looked down, timidly tapping the ladder with her feet.
You think it's weird, don't you? A little. But weird can be cool. At least Luka's supportive of her scientific desires. Oh wow. Rollo and I have a radio like this at the treehouse. Probably not exactly like this one. My mom and I tore the whole thing down to the bolts. Fitted it with some of the state-of-the-art vacuum tubes. She seems pretty awesome. She gets carried away sometimes. I think she feels guilty for working too much. So when she does have time for me, She showers me with high-tech overcompensation.
Luka flicked at one of the toggles.
I bet you can get all sorts of stations on this. Not out here in the boonies. You wouldn't believe the stuff I could pick up back in the city. But around here, it's all farm reports and static. Oh, shucks.
Luka bent down to examine the bouquet of wilting flowers. Judging by the odor, they were well past their prime.
Pungent, oh no.
He flipped open the attached card.
Happy trails from Coach Walker and all the Fairview Condors. Boy, you weren't kidding about poking around, huh? Oh, sorry, was this from your old school? The most recent one, yeah. Some schools gave me going away cards. Some did flowers. When they're really trying to feel good about themselves, they do both. So you've moved it a lot. Yeah, that's the thing with having a brilliant parent. There's always a better job somewhere else. These flowers would last longer if you put them in some water. That's the sort of thing I would do if I cared. Well, you cared enough to keep them is all. Luka, can I ask you something? Of course. Dang, did that hurt? I'll be honest, that hurt more than I expected. Well, at least you look cool doing it.
Beck took a moment to watch the rivulets of water running down the window.
Do you ever feel alone? Like, even when people are around? Well, Rollo can be pretty absent-minded sometimes. I'm serious. Does it ever feel like your family doesn't care what you want? It didn't used to feel that way. I know Graham loves me, but sometimes when she looks at me, it's like she's looking at a problem.
Luka took a deep breath, exhaling slowly.
No, probably his dad. I know the feeling. How do you deal with that? I guess I haven't yet. The one thing my dad told me when I was little, don't hold a grudge, especially against yourself. That is very good advice. If you try to hold it all in, you're gonna pop. So then, what do you do when you don't know what to do? Dad never got to that part. Something I figured out on my own though. You gotta do something. Anything. Here. What are you doing? I don't know. Something. We're gonna register our complaints out with the storm. Listen here, you miserable universe. Stop jerking me around. I just want things to go back to the way they were. Everyone tells me it's gonna be alright, that things are gonna change.
Let out a feral scream that echoed into the night.
Every time something changes, everything gets worse. Screw this town. Whoa. Let me try. Moving sucks. I hate it. I hate that I hate it. Why can't I just deal with it and be happy for my mom? Why can't we just stay somewhere? Blah!
Her voice dropped to a trembling whisper.
I just want to be a normal kid.
Beck brushed off her shirt and straightened up.
There. Wow, I actually feel a little better.
As abruptly as it began, the storm abated.
Thanks. I needed that. Me too. I should head out before the rain starts up again. Sure, I'll walk you out. See you and Rollo at the festival? Sounds good. Luka, don't let the universe jerk you around.
Beck gave Luka a light thump on the arm before heading in.
Aw. How cute.
Chapter 5. Friendly Feud. The air was heavy with a hard rain's residue, the smell of wet things. Despite his dreary surroundings, Luka felt at peace. He'd never shared those details about his dad with anyone. Not even Rollo. But it's not like this changed anything. Rollo was still his best friend. Adding Beck to the group would help balance things out. Everything's better in threes. This is what Luka told himself as he headed to the treehouse.
Stinky. Stinky Scotsman. Catch up with Rollo at the treehouse. The bat. I'm blanking on your name. Hey, Dawn. Tracking down a lead? You bet. I heard a juicy new rumor. Oh, thank you for the glasses. Turns out when Sharper Valentine died, he left behind a peculiar last will and testament. Oh, thank you for the water. Peculiar how? He didn't just give his kids an inheritance. There were conditions. Like what? The document stipulated that the heiress had to take on a child as her ward. A kid our age, who just showed up to town one night with a lawyer. Solomon? Bingo! So Eris was forced to take care of him? Yep, or she would have lost everything. Why would Sharper care so much about some random kid? Rumor has it, old Sharper sowed some wild oats. That explains the way Eris treats him. Poor Solomon. How'd you find all this out? A good reporter never reveals her source, Luka. Damn, that's crazy. Local mayor not being loyal. How are you, Stinky? Oh, actually. No, okay. How's your fractured arm doing? He met his old friend's eyes and was greeted with nothing but ice-cold anger. Heavens, this is no time for fractured friendships. Uh-oh. Subtle foreshadowing. Oh, hello. Excuse me, what are you doing? Just locking up for the night, sir. Oh, wonderful. I can only assume this means all festival preparations have been completed ahead of schedule. Not exactly, sir. The storm set us back a bit, and it's getting late, so we all decided to... You all... decided? Yes, sir. I was unaware that your job involved deciding things. We are all here at the perennial harvest because we believe in creating a better future. Yes. Yes, sir. Very much, sir. Do you want to be the one to tell this town that we failed them? No. That we gave up because there was a little rainstorm and we all got sleepy? Of course not, sir. Good. Then it's decided. Yes, sir. We'll work till the task is done. See that you do. Our harvest waits. I don't like that. Wonder... No. Oh, okay. Nothing new. Rollo, are you still up there? I'm sorry, Rollo isn't accepting visitors at the moment. Come back never.
Luka had only ever heard him speak in this stiff yet gentle tone a few times, and it always meant one thing.
You're upset. Oh, what makes you say that? Maybe because my best friend abandoned me for no reason? I didn't abandon you. I'm just a little late.
Rollo scoffed.
The rain held me up. Liar! You weren't even home. What? The storm got bad and I got worried, so I went looking for you. Imagine my surprise when I made it to your house and you weren't there. I hadn't made it back yet. I'm not a fool, Luka. It doesn't take all day to deliver some jam. No, that storm rolled in out of nowhere, and I got stuck after dinner at Beck's hut.
He stumbled on his words, knowing he'd said too much.
Beck? Dinner? What the heck is a Beck? She's a new kid in town. She's actually kind of cool. You'd like her. She needed help convincing her parents that she made new friends. New friends? I spent all day waiting for you, and you were off making new friends? It's not like that, Rollo. You know, while I was waiting, I made some upgrades to mission control. It was going to be a surprise, but you took so long, the storm knocked it all down. Just like you knocked down our friendship. What does that even mean?
Luka became instinctively angry in response. Both boys were now shouting across the distance.
It means you're a bad friend. You don't care about me. Of course I care, you ass. I knew I'd get in trouble waiting so late for you, but I kept my word, because that's what friends do. Oh wow, what a noble sacrifice you made. Easy for you to say. Your grand doesn't even care. You can stay out as long as you want, and you won't even get in trouble. Seriously? You're acting like I chose this? If that's what you think, then maybe you're the bad friend.
His tone changed to a calm, yet more intense anger.
Maybe Pa's right. Storms bring more than water. This one brought out the real Luka. Stop quoting your Pa's nonsense like it means anything. Yeah? Well, at least my Pa is still around.
Words hung in the cold night air.
Oh, that was mean.
Rollo's stomach dropped, knowing he'd crossed a line.
That was harsh, dude.
But it was too late.
Luka, Good night, Rollo. Oh. Dang it. Oh. That was mean. Not cool, Rollo. Not cool.
Luka dug through his old stuff, not even sure what he was looking for.
Rollo. What a jerk. Call me a bad friend. Ooh, I'm Rollo. Look at me and my amazing family. Guess I'm just never supposed to make any new friends. Oh. I love a guy. Luka?
Gran cooed gently from the hallway.
You slept straight through breakfast. Luka, are you alright? I'm fine. I just don't feel like getting up yet. Okay, I'll leave this oatmeal by the door. I've gotta run out and take care of some things. Okay. I'll be back later to check in. Sure.
Luka just wanted to be alone. He waited to hear the sound of the front door closing.
I bet Rollo's still gonna go to the festival. It's gonna be miserable.
Luka dozed off again.
Luka, I see you didn't eat your oatmeal. Wasn't hungry. Well, just in case you get hungry, I'll leave a sandwich here too. Thanks. Rollo came by. What'd he say? He said he wanted to talk to you. What did you say? I told him you weren't feeling well. Good. So your plan is just to sit in your room all day? Pretty much. Well, I need to pop away again for a minute. If you decide to end your pity party and go outside, I think it'd do you some good. Noted.
Luka still couldn't bring himself to go out. Besides, if he ran into Rollo, he'd have to actually confront the situation.
Which is scary. There's never anything interesting at the festival anyway. Very true.
The Adventures of Hank Atomic.
The complete first volume.
Luka carefully opened the cover and began to read.
Wish I could sit in bed all day too, to be honest. Kinda same. I'm a perpetual bed rotter, but I've been trying to get better about it.
Rollo had received it for his birthday. A special hardcover edition with behind-the-scenes commentary and bonus art.
Oh, wowee.
Rollo cherished it, but asked that Luka keep it at his house. Luka wasn't sure if it was because Rollo didn't trust himself with it, didn't trust his sister around it, or just wanted an excuse to come hang out at Luka's more often.
All valid reasons.
Whatever the reason, Luka didn't mind. But it had stayed right there where Rollo had stashed it ever since. Now, at the foot of his bed, Luka lost himself in the pages. He'd read it all before, but at this moment, it somehow felt sentimental. He was well into issue number 5 when he heard soft footsteps from the hallway.
Luka, another little friend came to see you. A girl named Beck. Oh god, I forgot how they said the last name. It's Beck. We know it's Beck. She said you met yesterday? What'd she say? Is she here? She was just dropping by. I told her you weren't taking visitors today. Oh. She seems nice. Yeah. You had a fight with Rollo, didn't you? Can I come in? Maybe later. Alright then. I'll leave dinner on the kitchen table, in case you want to bite before bedtime.
Without realizing it, Luka had pouted away the entire afternoon. He once again felt the weight of it all, and allowed his weary eyes to close. Luka stood in a vast black expanse. He looked up at his father standing beside him. Walt was working a straw at the bottom of a fountain glass, trying to collect the last bits of milkshake. Dad, where are we? Taking a final loud gurgling sip, his father peered up from the glass. He jangled the straw playfully with a warm smile, then lifted the empty glass as if to point into the darkness. The source.
The source?
Luka's eyes followed his father's gesture. In an instant, he was sitting in front of a blazing campfire. Across from him sat a large figure in a yellow hazmat suit. The figure's voice was a scratchy echo. Well, if it isn't the man of the hour. Make yourself comfortable. Luka held his shivering hands over the flame to warm himself. It doesn't work that way here. Their yellow-gloved hand pointed to the base of the flame. It's a cold flame, see? Luka peered at the base of the fire. It wasn't wood that was burning. It was Beacon Pines itself.
Ooh.
Tiny buildings, freezing and crumbling as they were consumed by flame. Luka could see small shadows moving in the burning city. People. Luka leapt to his feet. We've got to help them! The figure gave a dismissive wave of their hand. Why waste energy helping people who can't even help themselves? The figure bent down to examine the panicked crowd as they desperately tried to stop the flames. They only care about what's right in front of them. Not like us. Luka's voice was a trembling whisper. Us? The figure slowly stood up, grabbing its helmet with both hands. With a jolt and a twist, the suit emitted a gasp. A cloud of torpid mist escaped, slowly revealing the face within. Luka's own face looked back at him. Older, worn, distant. The sensation was oddly familiar, as if he'd caught his own reflection by surprise in the mirror. The doppelganger smiled. I tried to help once. He gestured towards his face. And all it got me was this. Luka staggered back. You aren't me. Luka felt a hand catch his shoulder. His father was there again, beside him. Every choice sets us on a path. This is the end of one of your paths, son.
Ooh. Breaking the fourth wall.
Luka watched his older self shake its head ruefully, its face twisting into a cruel grin. Well, Dad. If you wanted him to see this, far be it from me to disappoint. Luka watched in shock as the figure took a confident step forward and plunged into the flames. In a flash of cold light, he was gone. What does all of this mean? Luka felt a reassuring squeeze on his shoulder. Just remember, why we choose matters just as much as what we choose. Luka woke up to see a hazy figure at the foot of his bed, silhouetted in the morning sun.
No, dear. It's only Gran.
Luka rubbed his eyes. The kind, concerned face of his Gran came into focus.
How are you feeling? Fine. Anything you want to talk about? I don't feel like talking. That's just as well. How about you sit there and listen a bit? Whatever you and Rollo fought about doesn't matter. But
Gran silenced Luka with a gentle pat on the leg.
Fights between friends happen. What was said doesn't matter. The important thing is that it's not the last thing you ever say to each other. But he said stuff about Dad. Well, do you think he meant it? No. He was just mad. And did you mean any of the things you said to him? No. Good. One must appreciate friends in their best moments and accept them in their worst. Now get your little butt out of bed. The festival is today. You don't want to miss that, do you? I guess not. Seems like a good opportunity to make amends with Rollo, doesn't it?
Luka gave a reluctant nod.
So buy him a corn dog and apologize. But he is the one that... What did I just say? Buy him a corn dog. That's a good boy. Everything's better with corn dogs. I need to get going now. Got some last minute festival business to take care of. I'll come find you at the fountain a little after lunch. Alright. Love you, Luka. Love you too.
Luka took a deep breath.
Okay.
Chapter 6. Through thick and thin.
Hell yeah.
Despite Luka's bitterness, Gran was right. He needed to hash things out with Rollo. A big fight changes the nature of a friendship. Whether, in the end, it is for the better or for the worse, all comes down to understanding. If one is not careful, the same familiarity that builds the strongest of bonds can become the wrecking ball that shatters them. Luka emerged from seclusion, taking in the crisp festival air, but the events of the day weren't on his mind. He had to find Rollo.
Alright. So we did find a couple more charms. That one's gonna be done. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so we found a couple more charms, but we haven't gotten anything with them. So we've gotten several that we haven't used yet, actually. So we've used all the bottom ones here. I think we've used Tender, Smack, Cling, Succulent, Struggle, Refuse, Break, Lavish, Incendiary, Pungent. We just got Pungent, Weep, and Accept. Interesting, interesting. Oh, actually. Father, do you have anything for this? No. There you are! Luka, Rollo wanted me to tell you something. What is it?
Roxy rolled her eyes, shaking her head.
A space adventure, though you needn't buy it. If ye be brave, go somewhere quiet. Roxy, I don't... It's a riddle, Luka. My goofy little brother wants you to find him.
Luka looked down and kicked at the dirt.
Look, I know you two had a fight. The only thing more annoying than my little brother is my little brother without his best friend. So I'm doing him this one favor. Now, I need one favor from you. Whatever it is that went down between you two, squash it. Fair enough. We're going to the library. How goes the beetle hunt? Pretty rotten. I haven't seen so much as an exuvier. It's not just the beetles. This morning I couldn't find any critters at all. It's like everything that buzzes or skitters just packed up and left. I'm sure they're out there somewhere. Maybe all the commotion of the festivals just spooked them. Maybe. Yeah, maybe that's it. Welcome to our festival! Don't forget to come back later for Mr. Kerr's speech and the Perennial Harvest Festival sign reveal. You don't want to miss it. I don't know who Perennial Harvest thinks they're impressing with this ridiculous festival. Totally. The town's still falling apart, the weather's still cruddy, and this season's harvest looks like it's going to be worse than last year's. You said it. No amount of corporate pandering is going to change any of that. Exactly. But the lemonade at the drink stand over there does look pretty tasty. Fits. I'm still gonna be mad at them. I'd just rather be mad while sipping some delicious lemonade is all. Unique New York. Huh? Oh, don't mind me. Just warming up for my big ceremony speech.
The vicar pointed to his grinning mouth.
Gotta limber up the old gab box. You nervous? Oh, heavens no. Well, break a leg. Give me the... What? Give me the gift. What? I couldn't even read what the fuck he said. Ain't moving.
Jeff was staring into the distance with a wistful look.
Hey Jeff, everything alright? Yeah, everything's fine. I mean, used to be fine. Just ain't right these days, you know? I really do, actually.
Jeff turned to Luka with a furrowed brow, then gave an understanding nod.
You do, don't you?
For a moment, the two now shared that same wistful gaze.
Alright. Every single time. Yup. Wait for it. Unexplained sound once again noted. Like clockwork. What a bunch of drones. Haha. You're such a little shit. God, they're fucking everywhere. It's the first time I've seen this many smiling faces since the foul harvest. I had my doubts about perennial harvest, but I must admit they do put on a nice party. Alright, what do you got? Nothing? Oh. Piper, you're actually taking a break from studying. I wanted to see what all the festival fuss was about. But I can't help but notice you still brought your backpack full of books. Luka, backpacks can carry a lot more than just books. True. So what you got in there? Books. Hey Luka. You're down at the library? Huh? Oh,
Griffin
nothing.
looked away suspiciously.
Nothing at all. Sorry. Luka, did you know that Beacon Pines is actually unincorporated? A lot of people didn't know that. Oh, yeah, I didn't know. What's that mean? That's some high intensity gaming. I was gonna say something, but it's gonna sound like really saucy out of context. It means most public works are handled internally. We do all the pipelines, the water treatment, building regulations. That's great. Census talking, emergency services. I gotta say I'm a professional melon smacker, but take that for what you will, I suppose. I was able to return the perennial harvest safety suit you borrowed. Oh, that's information. I don't think anyone noticed. Good. Now will you tell me what you needed it for? It was a favor for an enemy of my enemy. This isn't going to harm Mr. Kerr, is it? All you need to know is that it's for the good of the family. Okay. The library. Somewhere quiet. Hey, Luka.
Kato's eyes lit with excitement.
I've been expecting you. Bravo on deciphering the first riddle. Oh, there's more. The first. Oh, you didn't think that was all, did you? Rello does go all out, doesn't he?
Kato straightened up and cleared his throat as if preparing to sing.
On planet Farpole, you may take issue. With the 5th king dies, you'll need a tissue.
Kato stared at Luka eagerly.
Get it? Want me to tell you? No, it's okay. Let me figure it out. Alright, when you find it, bring it here to be verified. If you decide you want a hint, the offer still stands. Issue 5.
Luka grabbed the 5 pillars of success from the shelf.
Once you got a book, you can either bring it here to me or just grab a different book.
Luka
Let's see
grabbed
my
the
options.
issue with self-help. Luka grabbed 500 meal.
No. It feels like it'd be kind of obvious, you know, like the 5th
Luka grabbed
issue.
Natural Photography, Volume 5 from the shelf. Luka grabbed the Modern Science.
That would be something.
Luka grabbed The Adventures of Hank Atomic, issue number 4 from the shelf.
Oh,
Luka grabbed The Adventures.
there we go. I'm like, I need issue number 5. Ah, you found it!
Removed his book from the desk and replaced it with Luka's, turning on the lamp. As he slid the book under the purple light, 2 words glowed.
You put fucking black light reactive ink in a book at the library?
The Adventures of Hank Atomic, issue 5.
Cool.
Luka clicked his tongue with recognition.
Rello's cipher pen. He used to write secret messages everywhere with that. And only I had the special flashlight needed to reveal it. But I lost it. Well, apparently he traded Jeff for this purple light bulb. Parted with the entire Halloween candy stash. Oh, Rollo. Now let's see here.
Kato began flipping through the pages, stopping when he hit a glowing word.
Get away with such a
He
grift.
continued flipping.
Only found in Grub Cart.
Reaching the end of the book, Kato looked up.
That's it. Grift in grub cart. Grift in Griffin. Griffin's grub cart. He wants me to go to Griffin's snack stand. Ah, brilliant! I guess you're off then? Good luck on the rest of the scavenger hunt. Thanks, Kato. Yeah, it's a little weird, but it's a small town. I imagine it's not like that detrimental. Especially when there's only like a handful of kids. Alright, now. Hi. Hey Griffin, did Rollo come?
Before Luka could finish his sentence, Griffin handed him a corn dog.
Oh, that's it? Bought and paid for, enjoy! I thought there was supposed to be a riddle or something.
Luka shrugged, taking a sizable bite out of the corn dog.
Yeah. It's cold. Oh yeah, that's been sitting here for a while. Rollo wanted me to be sure to give you that one specifically. Well, that's just...
Luka tongued at his cheeks, feeling something rough between his teeth. He reached into his mouth and pulled out a slip of paper.
Oh, come on.
He shook off the bits of corn dog to read the slip.
A pickup when you need some pep. Near the fountain, up the step.
Luka finished off the remainder of the corn dog.
This is getting to be a whole thing. Alright, to the cafe. There you are, Luka. There's no way I'm actually doing this. It's way below my pay grade. Oh, come on, you big stiff. Let the kids have some fun. Fine. Rollo owes me one.
He waved his hands around sarcastically as he began.
What takes flight but has no wings, your final task of friendship brings. See, that wasn't so hard. Ugh, I feel cheapened somehow. I think it's sweet. Takes flight but has no wings? It's not a bird. It's not a plane. It's not an insect. Good luck, Luka. Oh, hi. Hey. Hey. Well, I think we have the answer at the, well, not our palm, but Rollo's palm. Did you find the comic book? Yeah. And you got the corn dog? Yeah. Well then, I know it doesn't make up for what I said, but here, you've earned this.
Rollo sheepishly handed Luka the balloons.
They do fly and have no wings. That's cute. Thanks. You didn't have to go through all this trouble. I'm sorry I got so mad. Dang it, you were supposed to let me apologize first. Oh, sorry. Now you've apologized twice before me. Just let me do this. Luka, I'm really sorry. With everything that's happened, with your mom and all, I've always wanted to be there for you. Be a good friend, you know? And when you said you were hanging out with someone else, I kind of freaked out. Rollo. Still my turn. I felt like if you needed some new friend to help you, it meant I wasn't good enough. But that was selfish and wrong. I was wrong. I'm so sorry, Luka. Okay, apology over. You can talk now.
Luka threw himself at Rollo, hugging him as tightly as he could.
Aw. Rollo, I don't deserve you. I don't deserve you either. That's why we deserve each other. So, what else do you want to do today? You could snoop around and try to find some info about your mom? Snoop where? We could probably sneak into the perennial harvest HQ while everyone's at the festival. Are you curious about all the stuff those clipboards write down? What if we get caught? I think I've had enough excitement for 1 week. Let's just make the rest of the day about us. Really? Yeah, the rest of the world can wait 1 more day. You know, I have been wanting to get some work done on the MCDC at Mission Control. The aim is a bit unpredictable. That sounds perfect. Aw, we have little balloons! Yippee! They bounce kind of funky, but you know, it is what it is. Hey, big man, did you hear? After Mr. Kerr gives a big speech, they're gonna have the first annual biggest catch competition. As long as a boot qualifies as a catch, I'm a shoo-in. Ha 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 ha. Well, apparently the cops didn't like that joke, so good luck. Oh. Heyo, it's over. I almost forgot. I ran into your gran this morning. She asked me to give you this.
Lolo handed Luka an unopened letter.
I'll wait for you inside if you want to read it now. A letter?
Luka, some things are going to happen that might be difficult for you to understand. If I am honest, I hardly understand them myself. But whatever happens, I need you to know that I love you.
Gran, are you going on a suicide mission? What the fuck are you doing?
None of this is fair to you. You have already lost so much. We both have. I wish there was a simpler way forward. But if there is, I haven't thought of it. God knows I've tried. Everything I've done, I did for you. I hope someday you can accept that.
Gran, what the fuck?
Love, Gran.
Gran, what the fuck? Gran, what the fuck did you do? I love you too, Gran.
Luka folded the paper into his pocket and headed up the ladder.
Dude, is this guy gonna be like a full orphan? What's up with the letter? Anything you want to talk about? Maybe later. Sure, whatever you want. You know, you really didn't have to go through all that trouble just to apologize. I know, but we've been looking forward to the festival for weeks. After I ruined everything with my big mouth, this was the best way to make sure you still had a good time without me. Rallo.
Luka was at a loss for words, but that was fine. Words aren't always necessary.
This festival seemed nice. Was it nice? We can still go. Nah, this is fine. Well, there's always next year.
Sadly, this was untrue. A distant rumble shook the treehouse.
Huh? What was that? Oh man, we missed the
It
fireworks?
was not fireworks. It was something the boys couldn't possibly comprehend. Something as old and cruel as time itself.
The fucking fountain blew up.
A shockwave of cold tore through the room. A bitter, unfathomable chill. Before they could react, it encased them in ice. 2 boys, reunited by friendship, only to be cruelly separated by a malevolence beyond reason. And so, our story ends on this melancholy scene. In a silent treehouse turned statuary, in a town brought low by its secrets, sits a pair of friends, alone, together, for the rest of time. The end.
Damn. And that circles back to Luka's nightmare of the town freezing over and crumbling.
No, that can't be the ending. It simply can't.
Hello! Hi, Raiders! Welcome in. Hi, Buzz. Oh. Hello, hello! What were you up to? Was it more Funger? More Funger 2? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, Raiders. For anyone that doesn't know me, hi, my name's Lucia, and you can call me Lucy. I'm your friendly and wholesome big titty goth kitty, here to make your week a little bit better. We're playing Beacon Pines, which is a sort of visual novel, choose your own adventure game. We just got to one of the sadder endings of the entire world froze over after rekindling a friendship. Funger and dying, hell yeah. We love Funger and dying.
I won't accept it, and I hope you won't either. There are more endings, more possibilities. I can feel it. We are just going to have to sort through them all until we find the one that fits.
Yep. What do you mean? So this is our game. So we are Luka. We are this little deer boy. He's about 12. In a very small town called Beacon Pines. Our father has passed. Our mother is missing. We live with our grandmother, who we call Gran. And there is something strange going on in this little town of ours. And as we go through the story, you can see these little charms that are behind me, and these charms will affect the story at certain turning points. And they branch off into different paths. So this one had 2 paths, and that led us to these 2 paths. As we go through more paths, we'll find more of these charms that we can start placing elsewhere that'll open up more and more of the story. And right now, we're sort of at the point where we're a little stuck. And at the moment, we have 2 open paths. We have this one, or we have this one. This one was kind of funnier. We had captured an adult in the town that we have some knowledge is working with some shady business in our main character's basement of the house. And then we have this one, which is a little bit sadder, where the creature on the right side of the portrait accidentally got splashed with spooky chemical whatever the fuck and disfigured his face, and a bunch of, they call them clipboards. Think of the people you'll run to at a public space asking to interview you and ask you a few questions about some sort of organization or your opinion on something. A bunch of those people and their boss outside of their treehouse. So we got those 2 options. I'm kind of curious of this one, honestly. Luka drew himself up and decided to take the only option they had left. Oh, we did fight. That didn't turn out too well, and we have flight.
Luka drew himself up and decided to take the only option they had left. Flight. He squinted down the barrel of the mission control defense cannon, aiming it through an opening in the dense tree branches. He looked up with surprise as it struck true and taut.
Wow, the plunger actually hit something. Wow, I can't believe that worked. Hey, Mr. Kerr, we'd love to hear your thoughts, but I'm afraid we have places to be. Come on, Iggy. See it, jerks. Whee! Fine. We know where that leads them. This way. We'll take the tunnels. The tunnels?
Luka and Iggy winced as they sprinted through the thicket. The branches clawed at them, reluctant to give passage. After what felt like a marathon, Luka stopped in his tracks as they reached the clearing. What the? That was all he was able to say before Iggy slammed into his back. The boys tumbled down a steep decline and crashed with a wheezing thud on a surface as hard as ice. In fact, it was ice. Chapter 5. Signs. They stood silently, catching their breath. The sky was like sapphire. With each breath, a plume of steam escaped from Luka's lungs. Let's keep moving. Luka pulled Iggy to his feet as they gazed across a snowy terrain.
What the fuck? That was actually pretty badass. Uh-huh. I think we lost him. Are we up in the mountains? I don't think so. If anything, we went downhill. What's up with the Winter Wonderland? All I know is there's no going back the way we came. Let's see if we can get our bearings. Follow me. Luka? Luka, are you there?
Luka had almost forgotten the walkie-talkie he was carrying.
Is that bozo Kerr? I hope nothing bad has happened to you out in those woods.
Luka looked at Iggy with hesitation.
No need to be rude.
With a resigned sigh, Luka responded.
It seems like the only dangerous thing in the woods is you. He speaks, the young man of the hour. Now, how in tarnation did you end up with one of our radios? Just lucky, I guess. Boy, howdy, you Van Horns are full of surprises, aren't you? You knew my parents? Never had the honor of meeting your father, but your mom sure was a handful.
Luka winced, shoving the walkie-talkie back into his pocket.
I don't like that insinuation. You gotta keep moving. It's just like general. I don't like the insinuation. Sounds like a real chud. He kind of is. He's kind of a dickhead.
A disc of smooth metal was lightly covered in snow. Two faint seams were visible along the surface.
A manhole cover? If it is, I've never seen one like this. What's the readout? It's in just above 258 Kelvin? I don't know what that converts to in Fahrenheit. We're gonna figure that out, shall we? 258 Kelvin. Fahrenheit. 4.73 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, that's cold. I realized it was gonna be cold because of all the snow and ice, but like, fuck, dude. 4 degrees? That's down a bit from last time. Should we report this to Mr. Kerr? Still within safe ranges. Add like 100 to that and we're good. Maybe spreading, but it's under control for now. Even a small nudge in the equilibrium could cause a cascade. Dude, relax. Just a few more sites to hit before we can punch out. Let's get this over with. I don't like that. That's the Beacon Pine sign. What's all this? Hard to say with all the snow. I think it's a town sign. I can almost make out the letters under there. What town could this even be? There couldn't be another town this deep into Weepwood. I'm looking at evidence to the contrary. Let's figure out what we're dealing with here. Step 1, snow's gotta go. I can see what I can do. Yeah? Yeah, it's the Beacon Pine sign.
The boys stared in disbelief at the sign that now clearly read, "Welcome to Beacon Pines."
I'd like to remind the audience, the chat here, this was initially summer when the story started, and it's been maybe a week. just to put that into perspective. This doesn't make any sense. We're in Beacon Pines? How's that possible? We ran away from town. How did we get back here? Things are getting a bit odd. I guess we got turned around. Where'd all the snow come from? Well, it's been colder than normal lately. There's a pretty big difference between sweater weather and this Arctic hellscape. The puddle we fought at before, it was cold too. Maybe it all leads to one source? You think it's related? What the hell's going on? We're gonna get you some answers. Let's keep moving. Yeah, because like, if we were to go back here, right? This would be... This would be Luka's house. This would have been Luka's house right here. This would have been his father's grave. And this is the main intersection. And this would lead into town. This stuff looks familiar to you? Looks like the barrel near the puddle I shoved me into. Yeah.
The fencing listened, each chain link encapsulated with a translucent layer of ice.
It looks like the stuff they put up around Weepwood. The stuff who put up? I don't know. It's all frozen.
Looking down at the frozen stream, Luka could faintly see a school of minnows encased in the ice.
Whatever happened here happened fast. The fish didn't even have time to run. Or, you know, swim run. This is what's his name. This is the perennial harvest building.
Luka went hush. He looked back to see Iggy's face twisted with confusion.
What happened? Realistically, right, the amount of time it took for them to go from their treehouse and, like, essentially zip line down to what would have been Luka's front yard? Twitch lied to me, said you're offline, so I thought you were ignoring me. No, I'm sorry. I'm streaming. What's up? How much I did not feed him this morning. Oh no, I fed him half a can. I fed him half a can this morning, so the other half of the can should be in the fridge. If I was shitting itself, oh no. But realistically, that zip line could not have been more than like a few minutes at most. Like, this is not a big town. Because the tree, you can't see my mouse. The tree that we went to is behind that fence. And we go northwest. But we left going east. So somehow we looped back around the entire town to go back to Luka's house, because Luka's house is further west. So that wouldn't make sense. Everyone's gone. What? There's nothing here but more snow. There must be an explanation for all of this. You have to keep looking. You can look all you want. I quit. Iggy, we have to keep going. You don't get it, do you? This isn't one of your pathetic Hank Atomic stories. We aren't going to save the day. We aren't even going to save ourselves. My face is mangled. This town is destroyed, and everyone we've ever known is gone. We don't know that. You can't just quit. Do whatever you want. I'm done. Dude, you're going to freeze if you fucking sit in 4-degree weather. Iggy, it's gonna be okay.
Luka peered upward at the darkening sky. He let out a long, foggy breath.
Nah, he built different.
Faintly, Iggy began to cry.
Oh.
Seeing Iggy in such a pathetic state gave Luka a sense of compassion and more than a little guilt.
It is getting pretty late, I think. Probably not a great idea to stumble around in the dark anyway.
Luka allowed himself to collapse next to Iggy.
Let's just rest for a bit.
The boys huddled together for warmth and comfort.
Oh.
If not for exhaustion, their minds would be racing, trying to make sense of the events of the day. As it was, all they had energy for was to sit in silence, numb.
I'm scared they're just gonna freeze and stick to the fucking building. The way the snow covered everything over. It's kinda calming. Yeah. I haven't had time to say it, but thanks. Huh? For getting us away from those creeps. I sorta froze up back there. Iggy, I should be the one apologizing. This all happened because I lost my temper. Nah, this bull hockey. Hi, Coping Cat. Welcome in. First of all, you didn't know what that gunk would do. You didn't, right? Of course not. And second, stop with this baloney about losing your temper. But I did lose my temper.
Iggy motioned sarcastically to his half-deformed face.
Obviously. But that's exactly what you should have done. Huh? I was being a horse's ass, and you were supposed to be a horse's ass in response. That's how it works. Iggy, I'm having a hard time following. You wanted me to fight you? Of course! Jeez, you goody two-shoe types are... You goody-goody types take forever to understand this very basic point. Yeah, ass horse. Why would you go around saying cruel things trying to get into fights?
Iggy shrugged.
It's something to do. You're an asshole because you're bored? Sometimes I just feel empty. You wouldn't understand. You and Raul are always having a blast together, laughing and calling that dinky little treehouse mission control.
Now wept openly.
Perfect little Luka Van Horn with his perfect little life. My life is not perfect. Everybody in town likes you. Not everybody. Hell, that new girl hasn't even unpacked it and she already likes you. You have Tish.
He wiped his nose with his sleeve.
I love Tish. Tish is great. But she ain't exactly the world's greatest conversationalist, you know. I don't know what's going on, but now I'm sad. No! There's a lot to the story and we're in the middle of it.
Luka gave a warm chuckle.
I get that impression.
Iggy cleared his throat as he wiped his eyes.
Huh. Must be raining out here. Definitely.
Iggy arched into a wide yawn.
I should probably try to get some sleep. No! Don't sleep in the cold. Yeah. No. Let's lay low for now. Tomorrow we'll get to the bottom of all this.
Luka's eyelids began to slowly drift shut.
No! Luka? Yeah? You always did want to see the inside of your... I always did want to see the inside of your dinky little treehouse. What do you think? Not bad. I'll give you the full tour when we get back. You know what?
That's all Luka could whisper before succumbing to sleep. Iggy snuggled in some more.
When it comes to the worst days of my entire life, this one wasn't half bad. Oh no!
The house smelled of warm bread. Luka was playing with toy blocks on the living room rug.
No!
He looked up to see his parents on the couch. His mother held his father's head in her lap. She idly stroked his hair while humming a song.
That's a huge red flag. It's so over. It's over, guys. They fucking froze to death in the winter wasteland.
A voice behind Luka spoke. This is how you remember them, huh? Luka turned to see his own face. The doppelganger from his dreams, still clad in a yellow hazmat suit, still carrying a look of disdain behind empty eyes. Aww, look at this perfectly cozy scene. You know it wasn't really like this. The figure picked up a toy block and inspected it.
He was 6, my dude, or younger. What do you think he remembers? Huh?
It's amazing the facades that one can build given the right materials. Not that I blame us. These are a child's memories, all warm and fuzzy.
Right, exactly. It's a kid's memories. They're gonna remember, you know, what they
You
can.
don't remember, do you? Luka snatched the block from the figure's yellow-gloved hand. Remember what?
What, did his parents fucking argue all the time?
The doppelganger pointed to the couch. The last day we saw him alive.
Oh. Oh no.
The day he chose to abandon us.
Okay, hold on. You don't choose death most of the time, alright?
Luka turned to look at his father, still lounging on the couch. That's not true. He didn't abandon us. The doppelganger waved his hand dismissively. Everything is true here. It's just a matter of what we choose to see. Well, let me show you. The world flickered and pulsed. Luka was sitting next to his bed, listening to his heartbeat with one of his dad's stethoscopes. The doppelganger limped into the room. No, we both know that's not how this went. He grabbed Luka's hand and guided the stethoscope to the floor. Luka heard muffled shouting, brought close by the stethoscope. It was his parents, fighting. Do you remember what we did next?
Cry.
Luka gave a slow nod and crept down the hall to peek through the banister. He could see the outline of his mother at the bottom of the stairs. Damn it, Walt. We can't afford to get involved in this. She was scared. His father stepped forward. What am I supposed to do? Just watch? There's a sickness in this town, and we both know who's behind it.
We are aware of that to some degree.
I swore an oath to help people. I won't turn my back on them. Luka's mother grabbed Walt. She was crying, pleading. I can't lose you. Walt calmly removed Eleanor's hand from his shoulder. What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. I could never live with myself if I let Sharper get away with this.
Mayor Sharper? Oh.
Eleanor raised her voice. Spare me your bullshit platitudes. What about our son? Luka flinched, dropping the stethoscope down the stairs. Walt turned with a panicked smile. Luka, is that you, buddy? With tears in his eyes, Luka descended the stairs.
Oh.
Mom? Dad? What's going on? Walt dropped to a knee to meet Luka eye to eye. Nothing, buckaroo. Your mom and I just got a little overexcited is all. Luka placed the stethoscope against his father's chest. His heart was racing. It sounded like you were going somewhere? Walt gently removed the device from Luka's ears. Listen to me, Luka. I have some business to take care of. I'll be back in time to tuck you in.
He was in fact not back in time to tuck Luka in.
Luka hugged his father tightly. Promise? Walt stood up and walked to the door. He glanced over his shoulder. I promise.
Oh.
With a wink and a grin, he put on his hat and strode out into the evening sun.
Oh, that's so sad. They're still alive!
A figure approached soundlessly from the foggy snowfall.
Where are you?
It stood above them, lingering in contemplation. Slowly raising one hand above Iggy, it snapped out 2 brisk raps on his head. From a deep slumber, Iggy sprang up defensively.
Get your hands off me!
Whether it was the calming presence or the recognition that he was not in danger, Iggy felt his clenched fists lower.
So what do you think you're doing?
Luka looked up, gradually remembering his whereabouts. The figure exhaled a cloud of warm vapor.
You two certainly have caused a lot of commotion. What's that supposed to mean? Take it easy, Iggy. We were asleep minding our own business. You don't want running around knocking on people's heads. I'm sorry if I hurt you, Iggy. You didn't hurt nobody. Anybody. Huh? Oh, I see. You think you're better than me. You...
When it came to complete strangers, Iggy had trouble cobbling together an insult.
Big-headed, scarfy-necked, furball. Okay, let's lower the temperature a bit here. Interesting choice of words. I mean, let's all just calm down. Who are you? A friend. An observer. A hitchhiker on the infinite expanse of possibility. Great. How about a name? If you must call me something, you can call me Nat.
Iggy huffed with gratification.
I mean, make like a gnat and buzz off. Very well.
Nat began to turn away indifferently.
Wait! Do you live here? You might say that. So you know where we are? You might also say that. Alright, you weird little possum. Look, pal, we just want to find a safe way out of here. You gonna help us or what? Before knowing how to leave, one must know where they are. Alright, that does it. Look, I don't know about you, but I'm getting out of here one way or another.
He turned sharply and began to stomp off.
Enough with the riddles. Iggy, wait up.
Realizing he'd worn their patience thin, Nat relented.
Very well, I suppose this isn't time for metaphors. I'll show you how to get back home.
Luka and Iggy turned around with hope in their eyes.
Come here.
Nat took a deep breath in.
Close your eyes.
Nat exhaled slowly, then snapped his fingers.
Okay, open them.
For a brief moment, Luka and Iggy let themselves believe that some great magic was about to unfold, until they opened their eyes and found themselves in the exact same place, cold and disheartened.
This is your home. This is Beacon Pines. Look, Nat, we don't know how we got here. Maybe we stumbled through some time travel gate in the Weepwood, or we teleported to some alternate universe. Or all this is just some cruel experiment by Kerr and his goons. I'm thinking it's that last one. But this is not our home. You're inching closer to the truth. Alas, the reality is much less fanciful. Just give it to us straight. So be it. As I said, this is Beacon Pines. The original, true Beacon Pines. You both grew up here, but the town you've called your home for the past several years is a replica. A remarkable achievement of engineering, to be fair, but a replica nonetheless. That's impossible. It's too much work. You need a whole town to replicate a whole town. Indeed, to pull off such a feat would require immense labor power. That which could be moved would be moved. That which could not would require a precise duplicate. We would have noticed. Someone would have noticed. You'd think so. Unless the auditing was impeccable. A mind-numbing attention to detail. As for the innumerable trivialities which complete the tapestry, well, you can leave that to this miraculous thing we call a brain. It has a real aversion to discontinuity, a revulsion even. The brain has a wonderful way of smoothing out the rough edges, keeping us sane. Luka and Iggy looked around uncomfortably. So you're saying that someone made an entire new town and moved us all and no one noticed? Precisely. But why? Why is the one question that can never be answered with certainty. The best one can do is to uncover.
Nat narrowed his eyes. and uttered,
The source. Why'd you say the source like that? Why indeed?
Luka began to laugh uncomfortably.
It's all ridiculous. There's no way they could...
He looked down at his feet. His eyes started back and forth in contemplation. With a sudden pain, a thought struck him.
If this really is home...
He sprinted off into the pale distance. As Iggy turned to follow, Nat called out,
Iggy, it's not too late to turn back. Simply head west through Weepwood.
Chapter 6. The Source. Nat expressed his sympathy with a shrug and sauntered off as unassumingly as he'd arrived. He'd given Luka and Iggy what they needed, and nothing more. As Luka sprinted across the snow, the events of the past few days became clearer, pieces to a larger puzzle. Rollo said he was underground somewhere, captured. Mr. Kerr tried to cover it up with lies. The clipboards were hell-bent on capturing Iggy. It all seemed to point to perennial harvest. But right now, there was one thing that Luka needed to know. Luka stopped dead in his tracks.
Yeah, because this is his dad's grave.
The tree was gone, uprooted and moved, leaving a raw gash in the earth. He dropped to his knees and dug wildly at the cold snow. His numb hands hit something hard, a headstone. A dry whisper escaped Luka's lips.
You're here. All this time, I thought I was visiting you. You've been here, alone, in the snow. Dad, I'm so sorry. They ruined your favorite spot in the world. Our favorite spot in the world. Dad, what do I do?
There was no reply, just snow-covered silence.
Why did you give me the slip like that? What if I couldn't find you, you jerk?
Iggy finally noticed the tears welling in Luka's eyes and the snow-covered grave.
Oh. Iggy, they stole his tree, Iggy. Yikes.
Suddenly, they heard the crunch of approaching footsteps in the snow.
No. We gotta hide. $259 Kelvin. Fall off distance, still good. Fall off. Dude, did you hear me? I said 259. Sorry. You ever think about what we did here? We saved a whole town of people. Doesn't feel like it sometimes. What about everything we left behind? That's the grave of someone with a family. The people who love them will never know the truth. The truth is overrated.
He bent down to scoop up a snowball and lobbed it playfully.
Hey, don't be such a downer, dude. We took this job to change the world. Yeah, come on. It's almost lunchtime. What the fuck? Weirdo. That's so jarring. Here I thought I was a jerk. These dinguses are out here literally dancing on graves.
Luka stuttered through heaving sobs.
I thought I was visiting him. I thought he was with me. Not gonna lie, that's a bad break. Here's some advice.
He gave Luka a solid smack on the back of his head.
Hey! Is any of this helping? What? Sitting here in the snow, crying like some pushover. Who are you helping? Hey, look what they did! They lied to everyone! Blah blah blah. Luka Van Horn, you're a lot of things, but you ain't no pushover. What'd I tell you before? When some jerk comes at you, acting like a horse's ass, I should stand up for myself? Hell yeah. Kerr and his merry little band of clipboards pulled off the switcheroo for a reason, right? That mentioned something about a source.
Luka wiped his eyes with a sleeve.
Whatever's at the source, Must be awfully valuable to the perennial harvest. Sure would be a shame if something unfortunate were to happen to their precious source. Wouldn't it? What do you have in mind? If it's a small enough to steal, we snatch it. If it's too big to snatch, we smash it. Well, if it's too big to smash?
Iggy flashed a mischievous smile and cracked his knuckles.
I'm always up for a challenge. You gotta make this right, Dad. I promise. 10 out of 10. Let me get him a firearm. Let's do this. Locate the source. So now we're on this path, which I assume would lead more that way to the right. It can get awful cold out there in those woods, Luka. Probably best you to stay put and conserve your energy. Help's on the way. Where's Rollo? Where's my mom? Did you kill her? Oh, heavens no. Do I seem like a killer to you?
Iggy and Luka shared a skeptical look.
I mean, I don't know. You could be. Well, do I? Oh, shucks, now that hurt my feelings. Screw that guy. Do we want to go west? Can't really go west. Wait a minute. This is the original town, then that means...
Iggy darted behind a large pine and began digging furiously. He emerged holding a shoebox with a crude skull painted on its lid.
What's that? Long story. So a few years back, I, came into possession of some premium grade fireworks. Not the wimpy firecracker stuff they give kids. The good stuff. So why'd you bury it under a tree? That's the long part of the story. You and Rollo were doing chores at Rollo's chicken coop. Oh, you're a fucking asshole. You're such an asshole. You're such an asshole. Can you guys piss me off for some reason or another?
He rolled his eyes with realization.
No. You didn't.
Iggy stifled a chuckle.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a little scare. But like I said, these were some primo fireworks. So I might have underestimated things. You blew up the chicken coop? I prefer to think of as a incendiary redecoration. Sorry, we should have seen the looks on your faces. Rollo got grounded for months. Which is why I need to stash the evidence and lay low. So I buried him under that tree. But when I came back for him later, they were gone. I figured some grown-up found him and tossed him.
Iggy triumphantly raised the shoebox.
Turns out, it wasn't the fireworks that got moved. It was us. Unbelievable. Yeah, what a mook. Do you think this is a game? Newsflash, boyo. You're not a hero. You're a little brat who's is in way over his head. A hero is just someone who refuses to give up. Comics these days are rotting children's brains. Everyone thinks they're a spaceman superhero. I was always partial to Hank Atomic myself. Is that so? Do you really think you have a chance against us? You have no idea how powerful we are. Prepare for blast-off, loser. What the fuck?
Luka and Iggy inched up to the edge of the hole with bewilderment in their eyes. Arctic air breathed out of the cavern in heaving gusts.
Echo! 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 Whoa! I can see why they wanted to move us all out of town. But why would they dig a giant hole? I think this is it. This is the source? Is a dang hole? How do we smash a hole? Oh, it's much more than that, my annoying little friend. Kerr. Where's Rollo? I wasn't lying before. He's safe. Well, safer than you two, at least. Drats, it's cold. You just had to drag me all the way out here, didn't you?
Mr. Kerr gazed down the abyss in contemplation.
It really is something, isn't it? What did you do to our town? What is all of this? Well, that's a doozy of a question. This is the source, where they collect the unrefined,
Kerr scratched the back of his head.
Honestly, boys, I don't understand any of this well enough to explain it. Fact of the matter is, I'm not paid to know. What do you mean you don't know? Ain't you in charge? Oh, heavens no. My role is merely to flash a winning smile and manage various complications. Complications like us? You are a smart boy.
His face contorted into a saccharine grin.
It really is nothing personal. Some people are destined to strive for greatness, and others are simply obstacles along the way. Seems like you're destined to be a creepy lackey. The point is that we all play in our part in life. Mine just happened to be a lead in the role of a lifetime. And you happen to be extras ready for your curtain call. You aren't giving up without a fight. Your smile's not gonna be so winning after we're done with you. Now, boys, there's no need for melodrama. It makes even a professional such as myself embarrassed for you. Let's change the mood a bit.
Kerr snapped his fingers.
Scene change. There. That's better. Deal with them.
Iggy turned to Luka with a sly glance.
Why are you smirking? Because I have a box full of fireworks and you don't.
Iggy waved the box into the air, threatening to drop it down the hole.
Stop. Let's not do something regrettable. Joke's on you, regret is one of my specialties. Out of curiosity, what would happen if I threw these in your precious hole? Nothing. Nothing at all. You're a terrible liar. I'll have you know, I'm an exceptional liar. Up, that's far enough.
He plucked a single bottle rocket from the box and held it up with reverence.
Stop, you fool. Call out for goons.
After a long pause, Mr. Kerr flung up his hand with frustration.
Very well. And I'll head back to the night. It's been a long day. I'll handle these two from here.
Mr. Kerr sighed into the frigid air.
It's just us now, Iggy. You can put that down. Come on, like this?
With a nonchalant flick, Iggy tossed the firework into the hole.
Ooh. Oh.
With a growl, Kerr leapt at Iggy, crashing through Luka. Iggy tried to twist away, but in the struggle they both tumbled over the side.
No!
Luka dove forward, bracing Iggy's hand just before it slipped. His grip was made precarious by the cold, wet snow. He could see Kerr further down, clinging to Iggy's coat.
You reckless child, what have you done? Luka, listen to me. Hold on tight and use the walkie-talkie to call them back. What channel do I use? Doesn't make a damn difference, they're always listening. If you do that, the clipboards will just haul us up and snag us both. The only way you can get out of this is if Kerr is out of the picture. Just let go and save yourself. If he lets go, we both die. I don't want to die, but seeing the look on your face almost makes it worth it. Mr. Kerr, you've had a long life. Why don't you actually do something selfless and just let go?
Mr. Kerr gasped with insult.
Long life? I'll have you know I can still play 25. You should have heard me sing the part of Phyllis Young.
With a wild look in his eye, Mr. Kerr
Or
began to
Phileas,
hum a
whatever.
loud melody.
Prum, dum, dum, prum, diddy, dum, dum. Wow, can you believe this guy?
Luka's hand began to cramp. His voice began to crack.
Kurt, just let go. No can do. If you want to save your friend, you'll have to save me too. Luka, look at me. It's okay.
Luka felt Iggy loosen his grasp.
You're not going to kill your friend like that, are you?
Every muscle in Luka's body burned.
I'm not his friend. Yes, you are. Nah, I'm just a no-good bully. Like you, Kerr. Iggy, no!
Luka felt his hand slipping.
And I told you what you need to do with bullies. I can't. It's your only way out of this mess. 2 birds with 1 stone. Makes sense for us to fall together. Wackadoo travel in packs.
A calm settled over Iggy's face.
Luka, let me do this.
Iggy's voice was colder than the bitter air billowing from the chasm.
Let me do the right thing for once. Luka had no choice but to... Oh. What do we want, guys? Do we want to refuse his request, or do we want to accept the request? Which one? Which one? I'm honestly scared of both options. Like, it feels sort of I want him to live. Accept? But I feel like it's gonna be bad. I know, that's my fear, is that like, kind of regardless on what we pick, it's just gonna end not great. I saw an accept. Do we accept his request? Let him do the savior? Let him sacrifice himself? We can always come back. If it goes to shit, let him live. Anyways, well, we can always come back because we have the two different routes, assuming that they don't go to the same. Accept.
Luka had no choice but to accept Iggy's request. With a quiet blink, Luka watched a teardrop sail down into the howling void. As his fingers slowly gave up, he met eyes with Iggy.
Good. No.
The 2 silhouettes were swallowed by darkness.
Oh, but goodbye, Iggy. Luka, you should really step back. What? Quickly. Curious. Ah, but of course. Those fireworks of Iggy's must have been just the right amount of energy. We should get out of here before perennial harvest arrives. Not until you tell me what just happened. Your friend's sacrifice just saved this town. For a little while, anyway. How? Tempest liquamine is a peculiar substance. It can change the relationship between matter and time itself, but doing so requires unfathomable energy. In a closed system, the energy can only come from its surroundings. A useful side product of the property being, by adding precisely the correct amount of energy to it, one can create a cryogenic cascade. Cryogenic cascade. So the gunk makes things cold and the fireworks made the whole freeze over? That's one way of putting it, yes. As dumb luck would have it, the fireworks weren't strong enough to generate a runaway reaction. I shudder to think what would have happened in the case.
We have some idea what that would look like.
It will take them a good while to safely break through and access the source again. If you know all this stuff, why haven't you been helping? I have been, in my way. Each one of us has our role to play. Iggy's role, it turns out, was to buy us precious time. Mine has been to observe and wait. Wait for what? You. Me? Why? What's my role?
A fierce twinkle flashed in Nat's eyes.
Luka Van Horn, you are going to save the world.
With a chuckle, Nat turned and walked west. Dumbfounded, Luka followed behind him, trudging through the snow. Every step taking him further away from everyone and everything he knew, and closer to destiny. To be continued in Beacon Pines, Pines Harder. Revenge served cold.
Yeah, okay.
Second time's a charm? Wait, that's it? This ends with a crummy cliffhanger just when it was getting good? I was even starting to like Iggy. No way. I refuse to be associated with some never-ending parade of sequels. Let's go back and find something more definitive.
So we can refuse. So let's actually go back and refuse it. Refuse. We want to help him.
No choice but to refuse Iggy's request. He tightened his grip and reached for the walkie-talkie in his pocket. A wild delight crept onto Mr. Kerr's face. That's a good lad. Now, radio for help. Iggy begged Luka with his eyes one last time, but Luka pressed the button and called out. We need help. Mr. Kerr is in danger. It wasn't long before they were once again surrounded by clipboards. Mr. Kerr sighed with relieved frustration. There you are. You really are a worthless lot, aren't you? Mirror, now. A clipboard dutifully produced an ornate ivory hand mirror, and Mr. Kerr began preening his tousled hair. Ah, that's better. Mr. Van Horn, I applaud your sharp thinking under duress. I'll put in a good word for you with the founder. Take them away. A swarm of hands overpowered Luka. The last thing he saw before a cloth bag was pulled over his head was the defeated look on Iggy. The end.
I'm so glad that we didn't refuse.
I
Ooh.
think this was one of those times where doing the right thing was the wrong thing.
Okay, well, we know accepting is probably the better end that we're looking at. We have also this route. I don't think we have anything else here. Yeah. So we have this route. Which, we're back to where we are at the start of the stream, where we tied up an adult in Luka's basement because of some information of our grandmother being sneaky, snooping around, and this dude is associated with her, so... It'd run the classic good cop, hard cop interrogation.
Run the classic good cop, hard cop interrogation.
I don't know what the fuck that means. I know good cop, bad cop, and then some other silly iterations.
I've got this. Read about it 100 times.
Yeah, okay.
Rollo swaggered past the chair which propped up the slumping Hiram Tolliver. Without even looking at his captive, he began with a long, blustery drawl.
Yeah, just gonna be like a bunch of weird cop types, I feel. Good cop, chill cop. Good cop, hard cop. I don't know. We haven't had too many that have sets of threes though. Only kind of the start initial one. Everything else has had two generally. But we do have a bunch of charms that we haven't used at all, so I don't know. Well, 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 Mr. Tolliver.
Mr. Tolliver remained motionless. Rollo spun around to face him. He'd clearly expected to rouse Mr. Tolliver with his booming voice.
Mr. Tolliver?
Beck and Luka gave each other an unsure glance. Rollo slammed his fist on the table.
I said, Mr. Tolliver!
She grabbed the table lamp and beamed it onto the unconscious face. Mr. Tolliver groaned and slowly lifted his head.
Oh.
He recoiled with a muddled, weary squint.
What in the world?
The chair wobbled as he attempted to straighten up.
Who? Who's there?
Mr. Tolliver could only make out rough shapes through the glaring light. With a gruff tone, Rollo hoped to both conceal his voice and intimidate.
I'll be asking the questions here, punk. Now hold on, let's just calm down. Oh, I am calm. Calm as a carrot in dirt. As for you, looks like you're sweating.
The doubtful expression on Beck and Luka's faces transformed into awe.
We can do this my way, or... well, let's just say I'd never needed another way.
Rollo, hitting his stride, was now channeling every detective trope his memory could recall. He slammed the table again.
Now dance! What? I don't even...
Mr. Tolliver's voice became desperate. He was nearly in tears.
You've tied me down. How on earth could I dance? Dance with your mouth, punk. Spill the beans. What are you poking around this house? I'm here to help Juniper. To make sure everything's ready. Oh, so you're in cahoots with Gran. Gran?
Mr. Tolliver was in a daze, now more confused than ever.
Gonna help her blow up the festival, eh? Blow up the festival? Good
He
lord.
shook his head, feeling more and more dizzy.
No, you've got it all wrong. Where is she now? She's headed to the source. Source? What's the source? It's where
His voice faded to a whisper.
the town began. Where it all began. What is Operation Sparkplug?
With that, Mr. Tolliver passed out cold. Rollo swung around with a repentant grimace.
Damn, Rollo. I think you went a little too hard on him. What did he say about the source? It's where the town began? We need more information. Yeah, but we better not push Mr. Tolliver any further. Is there anyone else who might know more? What about the History Museum? It just got set up for the festival. Nah, that tent was put up by the Valentines. Everything they do is just a bunch of fluff to glorify themselves. Is there anything more reliable? The library. If there's any information about the source thing, Kato can help us find it. Let's go get some answers. Did they just leave him there in the basement? Did they just leave him there? Oh no. I hope you guys enjoyed the gruff voice, as I've learned that my chat likes deep-voiced women. This is a dang nice library. Thanks, we work hard on it. Aren't you a little too... 100% Ayo? Huh? What? Adorable to be a librarian? Aww. Oh, Kato hung out here so much, eventually they gave him a set of keys. I just keep an eye on the place for Mrs. Novak sometimes. They got you working for free? It's quiet and I get access to all the books I can read. What more could a person want? Fair enough. What can I do for you all? We need a favor. I already told you and Rollo. I can't put you any higher on the waitlist for the next Hank Atomic. And if you're here with more candy, I'll have you know I can't be bought. Call it a personal code of conscience. Actually, we're looking to do some research. Now you're speaking my language. What are you looking for? That's the thing, we sort of don't know. What do you got on the history of the town? There's the country record archives. Or county, excuse me. What's in those? Births, deaths, newspaper clippings, stuff like that. Pretty boring reading, but they do go all the way back to when the town was founded. Great. We'll start there.
Chapter 8.
I think that's the farthest we've gotten in chapters. Chapter 8.
6 feet under, 3 towns over.
Oh god, how far out are we?
The kids spent the rest of the afternoon combing through dusty piles of old county records, desperately searching for anything that could help them make sense of Mr. Tolliver's cryptic utterance. Luka tried to shake the thought of Gran's basement, but his focus wavered. Explosives, messages hidden in jam, dossiers on various town figures, and a corkboard threaded with photos.
Yeah, that's pretty much sums up what happened on that route.
Gran was the only family he had left. He still couldn't bring himself to believe the worst. But the old map with the symbol of explosives in town square made that difficult.
Oh, I had a thought. Okay. Oh, sure. So from what we've learned so far, right, because these timelines don't cross over too much necessarily. Oh, sorry. So what we've learned is the original town has a source of something or other. Fuck you, fire trucks. If we explode or have high enough energy in the source, we can shut it off, or rather encapsulate it. Gran has explosives in her basement and is sending out cryptic messages in jam jars to some of the adults in town. Are they trying to reclaim the original town? Which would make sense, right? Like, they want their home back. They don't want a replica of their home. But it's so... We're missing some pieces. We're missing some information that we quite don't know about yet. And we know that either Perennial Harvest or the Mayor family, the Valentines, have something to do with this source. We don't quite know what yet. If not both, maybe they're both working together, because we know that Gran at one point had the hazmat suit and was talking to Eris Valentine. But we also know that the hazmat suits work for Perennial Harvest. So we're missing some information, but there's a lot that's going on that is definitely a lot to take in.
As the sun began to set, the kids were no closer to the truth.
If I have to read any more records, my eyeballs are gonna pop. We have to keep digging. If I dig another word, I'm gonna end up in one of these asinine death records. Rollo Cotter lived a full and wonderful life. So he read so much boring crud that his brain oozed out of his ears.
Rollo shut his book with an assertive nod.
If you've got a better idea, spit it out. You sound like my sister. Keep pushing your luck, pal. It won't be boring country records that'll kill you. I'll put you in the obituaries myself.
Rollo muttered under his breath.
Your country record. Really? That's the best you got? When I'm done with you, you'll be in the footnote in history. Just like...
Slammed her finger down on the open page before glancing down to read.
J. Hartford here. I'd love to see you try. Hey, hey, hey! We're all a little tired here. Let's just take a minute and...
Something tickled the back of Luka's mind.
Wait, what was that name, Beck? The Obit? J. Hartford? From the Brookville Tribune 8 years ago. That can't be right. What is it? J. Hartford. That's my grand's name. Junifer Hartford. Maybe there are two J. Hartfords? Mrs. Hartford is survived by her young daughter, E. Hartford. My mom's name is Eleanor. Okay, this is getting creepy. If your gran is 6 feet under, 3 towns over, then who am I living with?
The question hung in the air.
Alright gang, I gotta close up for the night.
Beck rubbed her eyes.
Oh, how late is it? Almost 10. Oh crap, Pa's gonna kill me. I gotta go. Yeah, my parents will be worried sick. Okay, let's meet up as early as we can at the festival tomorrow. What are you gonna do about the unconscious man in your basement? I'll think of something.
Luka's heart was pounding as he approached the house. If he was lucky, Gran, or whoever it was, hadn't gotten back yet. And of course, there was Mr. Tolliver tied up and unconscious in the basement. Dealing with him would be the first order of business. Luka shook out his arms to calm his nerves before entering. He held perfectly still, tempering his breath, and listened closely. She was asleep. His only hope was that she hadn't found Mr. Tolliver before dozing off.
She do be snoozing. It's still open, so that's something. He's gone. Oh no.
Mr. Tolliver was nowhere to be seen.
Maybe he woke up, escaped from his bindings, and left without a trace?
Or maybe Gran knew everything.
What do I do?
Luka's hungry stomach groaned. Not realizing it, he'd gone the entire day without eating.
Oh, I do that too sometimes, buddy. It's not that big a deal. Okay, I can figure this out. I just need a little brain food.
Luka rushed over to the pile of jam jars, unscrewed one, and shoveled a handful into his mouth.
Do not eat the jam jars, please. Oh. I'm afraid your jam delivery will be delayed.
Flipped the lid to read the label.
Mr. Nuncreed? Okay, now I can think. So if Gran knows we tied up Mr. Tolliver, I'm screwed. If she doesn't know, then I need to play it cool. I guess the only option is to go to bed and act as if nothing is wrong. I don't think Mr. Tolliver finished what he was sent to do and left when he was done. I'm scared she's gonna be like right at the fucking entrance of the kitchen. Gran? Okay. Stick to the plan. Go to bed. Play it cool.
As Luka climbed the final stair, the emotion of the day dragged heavily on him. With each consecutive step, his legs weakened. His stride began to falter. He tried to grab for the railing to steady himself. Something was wrong.
Come on, legs. Just a few more steps.
Luka groaned and tried to move.
The jam was poisoned.
His limbs might as well have been bolted to the ground. Through numb lips, he mumbled just before falling asleep.
The sweet boy. What did you get yourself into? Grandma? Rest now, and let me handle everything.
Chapter 9. A speech to end all speeches. Luka awoke to find himself face down in bed. He moaned into his pillow. Why would Gran drug him?
I don't think it was you in particular. I think it was sort of just bad happenstance. I think all the jams are drugged.
Or rather, why was she trying to drug Mr. Nuncreed?
'Cause he's a creep and really gross, so I don't blame her for that one.
Shaking the questions from his woozy head, Luka snapped back to the matter at hand.
The festival! We gotta go. We gotta book it. Oh. Where have you been? Gran put something in the jam. Yeah, we know. Secret messages for secret conspirators. Not this one. The one intended for Mr. Nuncreed? Put me to sleep. Whoa, ho, ho. Sly devil. I think she's trying to remove him from the equation. He might be in danger. Have you found anything? I looked around but haven't seen anything odd. Gran is nowhere to be found. Mr. Nuncreed is just loafing around waiting for the speech. What speech? Mayor Gus got up to the podium. Everyone is gathering at the stage. Let's get moving. Oh shit, that's everyone in town.
Valentine nervously wiped his brow.
Is this thing... Hello, Beacon Pines. I'm Augustus Valentine, your mayor, and... I suppose you already know that. Oh, yes, before we get started, I just wanted to take a moment to recognize someone who couldn't be here today. This town wouldn't be where it is today without my father, Sharper Valentine. So I thought we could begin with a round of applause befitting such a great man. Oh, that's fucking pitiful. Even that's more than the old codger deserved.
He cleared his throat and awkwardly loosened his tie.
Right, where was I?
Kerr bounded on the stage with the energy of a preacher at a big tent revival.
Yeah, right, that was sad. Gus Valentine, everyone.
He gave Gus a hearty slap on the back and motioned him off the stage.
Let's hear it for our mayor. Oh, God. What a great turnout. Oh, heck, I didn't prepare anything. But I suppose I could say a few words. I'd be ashamed to waste such a beautiful podium.
Mr. Kerr pulled a thick stack of note cards out from his vest.
Oh my God. Community, conviction, commitment. These are the things we celebrate at Perennial Harvest. For us, these are the pillars of a bridge to a better tomorrow. But I think it's time to add a new pillar. Change. Change is a powerful thing. It's inexorable, inexorable, unavoidable, and undeniable. Thank you for the water. And I'm dadgum thankful for it. Oh, thank you for the feed. I have some spicy crayfish Pringles that I got from an exotic snack shop. They're not very spicy, which made me sad, but they still taste good. I believe that they are Japanese. That sounds wild. Didn't know they made those. I know, right? I think they're Japanese. That looks like Japanese lettering. Change is the reason we're all together today. It's hard for me to believe that it was only 4 years ago when fate brought me here. A simple business trip which brought me to a small town which would change my life forever.
Mr. Kerr took a moment to survey the crowd.
Drink milk? I don't have Pepsi or milk in my house. I have cannoli coffee creamer, and I don't drink soda. Or not, at least not very often. Mr. Kerr took a moment to survey the crowd. You know what?
Wiped away a single tear.
Fuck you. From the second I set foot in Beacon Pines, something about this place has held me captive. You see, change represents opportunity. It represents potential. It was change that helped me recognize the potential of this place. To see that the people of this town, despite suffering great loss, still held on to the things that made them special.
He thumped the podium to emphasize each word.
Community, conviction, commitment, change.
Mr. Kerr nodded confidently, biting his lip. The crowd was silent, in rapt attention.
Fate made a perfect match that day. Nothing is more important to you all than community. And Perennial Harvest is a community first and foremost.
Mr. Kerr methodically
I can't read, sorry.
with each section of the crowd.
The only way you've made it through the foul harvest was an unshakable conviction. A conviction that a better tomorrow was just over the horizon. Perennial Harvest was founded on the conviction that we are that horizon. This festival is a symbol of our commitment to each other.
His voice began to build to a crescendo.
We now walk in hand into a future that we will shape together. And that is what change is all about. Grabbing the future by the scruff of the neck and making things happen. Change is a choice. I am tickled pink that we'll be all making that choice together. How great is that? Just imagine what we can accomplish. What was that?
The crowd began to look around nervously.
Don't worry, a little thunder isn't going to ruin this day. Everyone remain calm.
Mr. Kerr quickly flicked through his note cards.
Where was I? Through all of my travels, I have learned one true thing. One always reaps what they sow. We have all planted a lot of good in this town. And so, it is with a happy heart that I can proclaim...
He raised his hands up to the heavens.
Our harvest awaits. So it seems.
At that moment, a merciless wall of impossibly cold air ripped through the crowd, instantly freezing everyone and everything it touched.
Yeah, well...
For a man like William Kerr, this was a fitting way for things to end.
Yeah.
On the stage, with an entire town frozen in rapt attention for the rest of time. The end. There's that ice again! Whenever I think we're getting close, it comes along and ruins everything! Maybe we should just quit? Maybe you should just close the book, walk away, and never think of me again!
Narrator, don't be dramatic.
No, I don't mean that. We got a little closer this time. We just need to try again. Please.
Sly cop? What? Okay, how many fucking cops do we have? We're also gonna backtrack a little bit here. That one doesn't have anything. Okay, we got Sly cop. Good cop. Sly cop.
Way to run the classic good cop, sly cop interrogation.
Is this where Beck comes into play? Everyone gets a little cop side show?
Luka and Rollo ducked behind a barrel, leaving Beck to her task.
It seems so.
With a few crisp snaps, she She roused Mr. Tolliver.
Oh, what's going on here? You're that... Fuck, I don't remember how they said her last name. Modewheel? Modewheel? Sure, girl. Please, call me back. Sorry about all this.
Mr. Tolliver looked down and shifted a bit, testing his restraints.
Seems there's been a mix-up. You see, I'm down here for the same reason you are. Juniper sent you here?
Beck caught herself before letting the surprise manifest on her face. She'd already gotten him to reveal his relation to Gran. This was gonna be easy.
You know how Juniper is with her precautions. Operation Sparkplug has us all on edge. I guess she thought you needed some backup. But she sent a child? What a better way to avoid prying eyes? Who would suspect a kid? I suppose that makes sense.
Mr. Tolliver wriggled a bit in his restraints.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Beck quickly removed the ropes.
That had to be uncomfortable. Excuse me. A little, yeah. But you understand. You never know who to trust in this town.
Mr. Tolliver rubbed the growing knot on his forehead.
Very true. So, it turns out we're both here to...
Beck twirled her hand, as if to prompt Mr. Tolliver to finish her thought.
destroy the evidence?
Beck shook her head and clicked her tongue.
Yep, the old gal is nothing if not thorough.
Mr. Tolliver let out an amused huff in agreement.
She sure is. Can't blame her though. If anyone were to find out that we're going to destroy the source... Well, we both know how bad that might be. No one will know anything once I finish cleaning things up down here.
Beck was on a roll now, playing Mr. Tolliver like a fiddle.
You're sure you can finish this up on your own? Juniper trusted me for a reason. You can leave the rest to me. Good. There's one more loose end I'll go work on. Loose end? Oh, it's nothing, really. The other day I had the radio on scan while restocking the candy shelf. And wouldn't you know it, I intercepted an odd phrase in the perennial harvest transmission. Underground secrets. That's ominous. I think it might be a password, but Juniper dismissed it. Said it wasn't mission critical. What's the password for? We don't know. So we have a password and know where to put it. It's gotta mean something, right? Good thinking. You should probably go work that out. I got this under control. That's relief. Between you and me, this basement gives me the willies.
Heading for the stairs, Mr. Tolliver hesitated and turned to Beck with a puzzled look. She grinned and gave him a peppy wave. With a shrug, he continued up the stairs, whistling a jaunty tune.
You guys catch that? Sure did. This whole time, Mr. Tolliver had a candy shelf. But all he ever sells us is apples.
Beck blinked slowly in disappointment.
The password, Rollo. Well, sure, but once things are back to normal, I'll be having a word with Mr. Tolliver about that candy shelf. Fine. In the meantime, I've got an idea.
She turned to the table and began tearing small scraps of paper.
He said he heard a password on the radio. Any good spy transmission is never what it seems.
Beck marked each scrap of paper and leaned back.
Well, you think it's a cipher of some sort? You just need to find the hidden meaning. Okay. What's another word for underground? Buried? Covered? Could it be a cover-up? Maybe it's one of those each letter is a number thingies. So you would be 21. N would be 14. D would be... Oh! It's an anagram. None creates drugstore.
Luka and Beck looked at Rollo with amazement.
But buddy, I'm shocked that you have a brain in that little kitty head of yours. Bravo. That was incredible. Well, it's either that or Kren's nude rug store. Yeah, I think you were right the first time. How'd you do that? What can I say? I love ciphers. Well, I guess we know where to go next. You scared me half to death. Sorry. You guys haven't seen Mr. Tolliver around, have you? No? Got me waiting around like the last slice of pie. I swear that man would be late to his own funeral. Damn. You're late, Augustus. Sorry, sister. Was caught up with work. Work? You. I have a few more details to lock down before the festival. Oh, what do you have to report? What is this insipid town festival really about? I think
Gus looked around nervously.
Mr. Kerr really does just want to do something good for the town. He's actually a pretty nice guy. You should spend some time with him. I didn't pull strings installing you as mayor so that you could make friends. Your job is to help me figure out what Kerr and Perennial Harvest's true intentions are with this town. We have a responsibility. This is our father's town. Was. Excuse me? This was our father's town. He's gone, Eris, and isn't coming back. Father left us with nothing but problems. Mr. Kerr came here and offered to help us. We accepted that help. We didn't agree to them turning Father's warehouse into a toxic dumping ground. That's just a temporary arrangement. The glow can be seen from our damn backyard. They're dumping their nasty little secrets on us. When this is all inevitably goes wrong, who do you think will be blamed?
Eris's cry hung in the air.
We have a new choice to make now, sister. This town is going to change whether we like it or not. Are we going to choose to be a part of that future, or be forgotten in the past? It's a shame. Father named you Augustus, but you will always be a Gus. Good night, Eris. I'll see you at breakfast tomorrow. Joe will be blamed. Joe Mama. It's getting late, children. Alright, what do you gotta say? Knowledge, he spat with a sneer. There exists a gulf between knowing something and being able to do a damn thing about it. I do hate it when the villain makes a good point. I really like this character. That is our sort of like foreshadowing character. Oh, hi Solomon. Get the fourth kid involved.
Solomon stood proudly at the entrance to the drugstore, holding a brown bag overflowing with black licorice.
Ugh. Hey Solomon. You're looking for Mr. Nuncreed. Is he still in there? I'm afraid not. Then where'd you get the candy from? You might say we have an arrangement.
Solomon shoveled a surprising amount of licorice into his mouth.
Sometimes it's the small pleasures in life. We might not always be on We might not always have family to rely on. Licorice has never let me down. Well, I can't say licorice would be my first choice, but whatever floats your boat. You can tell a lot about a person by their choice of confection. Oh. Yeah, I guess. I like sour gobs. I'm certain you do. I always wondered why Mr. Nuncreed kept licorice in stock. You must eat enough of it to make it worthwhile. There are many ways to earn loyalty. For some, it's as easy as cold, hard cash. Weird thing to say. Well, he's right. It's locked. There's gotta be more clues. Okay, let's see. Have you ever seen anyone actually use this thing? Besides Mr. Nuncreed? No.
Beck cupped her hands on the glass to peek inside.
That is not a normal phone booth. It's got like a blinky keypad. Why would there be a blinky keypad? Grant's Nude Rock Store! I mean, Underground Secrets! The password!
Beck flung open the door and they all squeezed in.
Alright, let's see here.
Luka cracked his knuckles and entered the letters into the keypad.
Underground Secrets. Sounds like that did something. Great. Now what? Guess we...
The inside of the phone booth dropped loose from its shell. Without even the space to panic, they closed their eyes, held their breath, and accepted their fate. Suddenly, the chaotic descent slowed to an effortless landing. It was unclear where they ended up, but at least it was solid ground.
Oh.
The air was stagnant and smelled vaguely of chlorine.
Oh my god. I knew it. You knew that there was a secret hub full of strange tubes under the phone booth? Of course I did. Didn't I say that? No. I definitely thought it. Luka, do you remember when I said how cool it would be if the transdimensional conduits from Hank Atomic issue number 12 were real? Rello, at one point or another, you said that about every technology ever discussed in Hank Atomic. That's why I'm such a good predictor. It looks like each of these has something written on them. Mining Operations Alpha. You guys have mines here? Not that I know of. This town's all farms and fertilizer. Yeah, a series of tubes. Pa always says you can only trust a miner up to the point when they hit gold. Not sure how that wisdom applies in this exact situation. That's the thing about Pa. You don't always realize what he means until it's too late. Perennial Harvest main office? That's where my mom works. What'd she do? Science stuff. Is she involved in all of this? She just moved here. How could she be involved? True. Valentine Fertilizer Warehouse. Isn't that where you almost got snatched? Yeah. Why would Perennial Harvest have a tube going to the old Valentine place? This is starting to feel like something big. This dude has a broken mask. So, have we found our mystery warehouse creeper? We've at least found their hazmat suit. If it walks like a Nuncreed and talks like a Nuncreed, let's not jump to conclusions. Just saying. That's a lot of buttons. Stand aside, Earthlings. I read enough Hank Atomic to know my way around a sci-fi tech.
Rollo's hands hovered over the field of blinking buttons.
Eeny, meeny, miny. Rollo, what did you do? Nothing. I didn't even mow yet. What was that? Hide! Where? There's nothing but weird tubes down here. Just get back. Shit. 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 Awesome. You all need to come with me. Now. We aren't going anywhere with you. Not until we get some answers, Mr. Underground Secrets. I told them it was an absurd password. They love anything that makes them feel clever. They who? That's no matter. If I can keep you hidden until after the festival, I might be able to save your skins. You don't care about our skins? Hold on now, I like my skin. This all stops now, Nuncreed.
Joseph waited for a moment in silence.
I forgot his name was Joseph Nuncreed. Well, I guess Joe would be blamed if something were to happen with Perennial Harvest. You sound just like him. Who? Walt. You don't get to talk about my dad. You know, your father and I were friends back before...
He gestured toward the strange tubes.
All of this. That's a lie. It's true. I used to bounce you on my knee. What happened? Same thing that always happens. Reality, complications, life. We were a team, Walt and I. An idealistic doctor and a bright-eyed pharmacist. Both hellbent on helping folks. So you were his sidekick? No. We were partners. He helped the patients and I helped him. Yep, total sidekick.
Nuncreed let out a growl of a sigh.
Luka, I need you to know this. I need someone to know this. One day, Sharper Valentine comes to us. Says he's got an opportunity. He found something he didn't quite understand. And he was willing to pay us both handsomely to help him understand it. And my dad said no. Your father and I both believed in helping people. But the thing I could never get him to understand was, it's a lot easier to help others if you help yourself now and then. Classic sidekick into villain plotline. Walt loved being righteous, almost more than he loved his family. He was wrong about that. About one thing, though. When he begged me not to take Valentine's offer, he said, Joseph, if a person says yes, one time to Sharper Valentine, you'll make sure they keep on saying yes to him until the day he's dead and gone.
He shook his head wistfully.
Sharper's long gone, but he's still got me saying yes. Is there a point to this sob story? Not really, no. Just an old man trying to delay what needs doing.
Nuncreed took a menacing step towards the children.
I tried to keep you safe. I tried to keep you and Juniper out of this, but you forced my hand.
Luka began to laugh.
What? You really don't know? My Gran isn't out of this. She's been scheming right under your nose. Juniper. Seems like she's planning on crashing the town's party. She's going to disrupt the festival. Why would she?
The color drained from Nuncreed's face.
How does she know? Apparently she knows a lot of things. What? Let's just say this isn't the only underground lair we've busted into today. And honestly, hers is way cooler. She's got maps and explosives and bad intentions, big man.
Nuncreed grabbed Luka by the shoulders. His eyes were frantic.
You need to tell me what she's going to do right now. She doesn't understand what it is she's messing with. Tell me now. She's in danger, boy. I don't know. She had a map with a mark on the fountain in town square. The fountain? Why would...
A jolt of realization struck Mr. Nuncreed.
She knows about the source. What the heck is the source? If she tries to destroy the source, it could catalyze and... Dear God, she's gonna freeze us all. You all need to run. Run where? Away. As far away from this town as you can get. Head west and don't look back. What the fuck? That did not go how I expected. So... we're totally following him, right? Totally. See you on the other side. Whee! You good? Yeah. I love this town.
Chapter 8. The Cold, Hard Truth.
No, are we gonna get frozen over again?
Beck leapt up, allowing the suction to yank her into the dark. Dimness eclipsed around her like the shutter of a camera as she seemed to cover great distance in mere moments. Her only points of reference were glints of upcoming turns, which approached with frightening speed, only to carry her gracefully along. She heard the tinny, distant echoes of Rollo's glee. Once she stopped fighting against it, the ride was impossibly smooth. Then, all of a sudden, as if minutes had passed in an instant, light blazed into view. A burst of wintry air snuffed across her face, and she was flung out into the cold.
The manhole cover. That was intense? Yeah. I think I might have parted with some fluids in there. Any idea where we are? Somewhere cold. Doesn't look like it got on any of us. It didn't feel like we traveled that far. So where did it all go? This place sucks. Why would anyone even want to blow something up out here? Only one way to find out, I suppose. We've got to catch up to Nuncreed. I think he went this way. Well, from one of the other routes, we know that this is Beacon Pines. The original Beacon Pines. We can't really do a whole lot because we don't know that in this route. This looks familiar, yeah. Maybe we can clear out the snow. No time, Nuncreed's getting away. Okay, this is starting to feel really familiar. I may not be the most well versed on all things Beacon Pines, but this does look like some sort of frozen replica of town. Ah, I got it. It's so obvious now. Mr. Nuncreed is an alien. Rollo, stick with me here. His species can only live in sub-zero temperatures. Oh boy, here we go. The source is their base camp dimension, so naturally they keep it cold. We found it by traveling through those metallic wormholes back there. The final objective: kill us all and shapeshift into Beacon Pine citizens of their choosing. You never really had me, but you very much lost me there. You get used to it. You should keep moving. Oh, Rollo, you silly boy.
The frozen town square, they spotted Mr. Nuncreed inching cautiously toward a pit at its center. He held his arms out gingerly, as if approaching a beast in the wild.
Grandma!
Upon closing the distance, Luka recognized what Nuncreed was after. Gran stood confidently at the edge, one arm outstretched over the abyss. Nearby, a wheelbarrow had been emptied out.
Oh no.
She held a lit torch, which flickered in the bitter wind.
Juniper, I don't know what you think you're doing, but I assure you this is not going to solve anything. If you drop that, you've doomed this whole town. Oh, it wasn't me who doomed this town. I've been watching you, Joseph. I know what you've done. You and your co-conspirators. Gran? What's happening? Luka, you and your friends need to leave right this moment.
Mr. Nuncreed turned back toward the kids, desperation in his eyes.
Listen to your grandma, Luka. This is between me and Juniper.
Rollo and Beck held steadfast in awe. Luka approached closer. Mr. concrete spun back toward Gran, his voice growing louder.
You got it all wrong, Juniper. Just hand over that torch. You don't understand what you're doing. How could I possibly trust you to do the right thing? Walt told me everything. He trusted you, and you betrayed that trust. Luka, did you know that this man's entire life is a lie? If it weren't for him, your father might still be alive.
Mr. Nungreen winced with anguish. His voice hardened.
That's not true.
They both now yelled, not to each other, but at fate itself, making their peace with long-held burdens. The wind howled with encouragement.
Walt was like a brother to me. We just had different ideas about how to effect change. Very convenient that your way just happened to lie in your pockets. Now that's not fair.
They menaced at each other, both catching their breath. The moment balanced on a knife's edge. Amid a blur of emotions and memories, Luka's mind flooded with questions. The wind calmed, as if to give him the stage.
And in the stillness, he began to weep or to hum. What are we thinking, chat? We sobbing? Or are we singing? Hum?
And in the stillness, he began to hum. After the death of his father, Luka had trouble sleeping. Each night, his mother would sit at the foot of his bed and hum a gentle melody. It was the only thing that could calm his mind. The only thing that, however briefly, could make it all seem okay. That melody pervaded every memory Luka had of his mother. Shivering in the raw snow, he began to hum it out loud. Gran lowered the torch, listening closely. As recognition slowly set in, her heart sank. Those countless nights of consolation. The incomparable loss they shared together. She let the torch fall to the snow and sizzle out. A few steps toward Luka was all she could bear before dropping to the snow herself. Through a flood of tears, she began to hum along, note for note. Luka lifted his head in astonishment. The last time he heard that melody was the last night he saw his mother.
How do you know? I'm so sorry, my little buckaroo. Buckaroo? The only people who call me that are my dad and your mother.
Luka blinked through blurry, watery eyes, trying to see more clearly. He could just make out the impression of a familiar face. He peered across the snowscape at the woman on her knees. Something about her was undeniably his mother. Only smaller, older, changed.
Mom? That's right, buckaroo. Mom!
Luka sprinted as fast as he could toward his mother. They held each other close, and the cold retreated from their bodies.
Eleanor? I thought you were gone. You should have known I would never abandon my son.
Eleanor looked down at Luka, tightening her embrace in an appeal for forgiveness.
How? You're a smart man, Joseph. I thought you'd have pieced it together by now. You were exposed. Mom, I don't understand any of this. What happened to you? Where did you go? Why did you leave me? I never left you. I was always right here, Luka. Why did you lie to me? Tore me up, Luka. But I did it to keep you safe. I thought that getting answers would help us both move on. The more I discovered, the more I realized the danger we were in. Until perennial harvest was stopped, it was better if everyone thought I was gone. They could have trusted me. These are bad people, Luka. They won't stop until they get what they want. And they don't care who gets hurt in the process. Then, what do we do? We have to stop them.
Joseph slumped into the cold, wet snow.
They can't be stopped. This is too big. I tried beating them at their own game. I'm done fighting fire with fire.
For the first time in a long time, her voice felt like her own again.
No, that attitude, big boy. No more lies. I see now there's a better way to stop perennial harvest. The cold, hard truth.
Luka gazed down at Nuncreed with pity. He looked small. Joseph stared into the snow, as if searching it for answers.
Come on, everyone. We've got a party to crash. Wow, what a twist. You don't understand. He always wins. Chapter 9?
Chapter 9. The Devil You Know.
Oh no. That's a huge twist. Because we've seen what, I'm just gonna call it the goo for lack of better words. We've seen what the goo can do. When we accidentally pushed Iggy into it, his face got deformed, and he was only in that puddle for maybe like a couple seconds. Or even when the similar route to that, we accidentally splashed Beck. Not a whole lot, but like just like a little bit got on her face, and it gave her like a white streak of hair. So whatever that goo is can like rapidly age people.
7 months ago.
And I can only imagine that his mother had somehow gotten into it and just rapidly aged, and she looked similar enough to her mother, his grandmother.
Eleanor Van Horn crept down the maze of sterile hallways under perennial harvest. She stopped in front of the large steel door marked Deep Engineering.
That was so wild.
No turning back now. She raised a trembling hand. The stolen keycard worked as promised, and the door buzzed open with mechanical efficiency.
I want to see young Eleanor. I want to see his mom.
She was immediately hit with the smell of disinfectant. It was some sort of laboratory. In one corner was a desk covered in papers. Across the room stood a tall metal pod with hoses protruding from its base. She rushed to the desk and began shifting through the piles of papers. They were experiment reports on something called Tempus liquamen. There were dozens of them, every one stamped failed. Eleanor heard the sharp echo of footsteps approaching. She was out of time. Her eyes scanned the room, eventually landing on the strange pod.
No.
Muttering a curse under her breath, she dashed over and dove inside.
Oh. Crimson Cyber Kitsune, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. that is what change is all about. Grabbing the future by the scruff of the neck and making things happen. Change is a choice. I am tickled pink that we'll all be making that choice together. How great is that? This man is a liar! Excuse me? I will not. This town has a dangerous secret and perennial harvest only exists to keep it hidden. Nonsense. They picked up the whole damn town and moved it right under our noses. You aren't making any sense, dear.
Mr. Kerr addressed the crowd with a sarcastic tone.
Imagine such a thing. That's absurd and just plain impossible. They promised they could fix the foul harvest. They told us they would clean this place up. We just had to leave town for a few days. But while they had us evacuated, Mrs. Hartford, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to. You're afraid of a lot of things, aren't you? You sniveling little worm. This is growing tiresome. A little help, please. Don't you see? This festival is a sham. An excuse to have the whole town gather in one place. They're planning something awful. I don't know what, but these people are wicked. Don't listen to her. She has absolutely no proof. I am the proof. I'm Eleanor Van Horn.
Whispers filtered through the crowd.
Well, aren't you just sneaky as the dickens? You all knew that Valentine's fertilizer was too good to be true, and now this whole town is paying the price. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry for this disruption. My associates will take this obviously disturbed woman somewhere comfortable, so that she can get the help she needs. She's not the one who's disturbed. You two-timing clown. You all know there's something wrong with this town. It was just easier to look the other way. The truth is... That's quite enough, Mr. Nuncreed.
Torment dragged on Joseph Nuncreed's face.
Oh no. Oh no. Is Solomon the clone of the first mayor? Sterling Valentine, whatever the fuck his name was. Not Solomon, obviously, but is he a clone? Is he a child now? Take them away. No. I want them to see this. Ah, the ever tempestuous Eleanor Van Horn. You've been quite the thorn in my side. Like a weed that's burrowed in where it doesn't belong. I must confess, you look dreadful.
He paused for a moment, plucking a piece of fuzz from his sweater and discarding it to the ground.
Consider yourself in rare company. You've managed to pull one over on me. It won't happen again. I knew you had some sort of plan to disrupt our little party. But alas, I expected something a bit more impressive than incoherent rambling. No matter, your failures are yours to bear. Mr. Kerr. Yes, sir. It's a shame it was cut short, but I thank you for that rousing oratory. I will take it from here. Yes, sir, of course, sir. You have done quality work for me, William. I can look forward to the recompense we agreed upon.
Kerr gave a bow of deference.
Founder, you are most gracious.
Gasps rippled through the crowd.
Thankfully, we can dispense with the formalities from here on out.
Solomon pulled a glass vial from his pocket. In one smooth motion, he downed its contents.
It's the goo.
A triumphant smile grew across Solomon's lips.
You can all call me Sharper Valentine.
His body and face began to contort and expand as he disappeared into a belching green mist.
Hi, Ryan. Oh,
A hushed horror gripped the crowd.
Fuck. Where are my glasses? That one. Welcome in. A hushed horror gripped the crowd. Oh no. I
This is
fucking
a
knew
story
it.
about change.
Thank you. What? No! So you didn't see that coming. I fucking did. We're gonna cause chaos? Oh no. Why? We're already in so much chaos. We've had the town frozen over like 4 times. We killed one of our kind of friends, kind of not friends. Don't know why that one didn't go off. Good.
Sharper examined his new hands.
Well, this is quite the improvement. Everything looks so much smaller now. Eleanor was right about one thing. This festival was a ruse. I wanted you all to witness my glorious return with your own eyes. Why does everyone look so downtrodden? This is a celebration, people. Maybe it would help if we set the mood. Mr. Kerr, be a dear and reveal the sign. Ah, wonderful.
Sharper choked out a crude squawk of a laugh. Frustrated grumbles sprinkled through the crowd.
Sharper, you malicious bastard. I'm glad you're back so I can tell you to your face. You destroyed this town. We ain't gonna let you get away with it again. Sorry, this is not the time for audience participation. Some assistance, Mr. Kerr.
William Kerr gave a subtle nod to the clipboards.
You coward! Does anyone else have something to contribute?
A helpless quiet settled over the crowd.
I thought so. Did you all truly believe you could be free of me? Oh, Bazaar got an update? Let's go! Yes, I need to go potty. Okay, go. Hurry up. Go. Go use the bathroom. A town of complete and utter fools. You people should be celebrating my return. You're clearly lost without me. And that leads me nicely to my children. I already went? No! I'm not saying that. I give you both the greatest gift a parent can give. The opportunity to prove yourselves in my absence. Squandered. To say I'm disappointed would be an understatement. But silence, Augustus. An adult is speaking. I don't know which is worse, a son who is completely hopeless, or a daughter with such potential who inevitably lets me down. Eris, you fail me with admirable consistency. Thankfully, I was counting on it this time. Father, I have been wasting my time, my dear. What have you accomplished? I was focused on cementing our legacy. Legacy? Who needs a legacy when you can just live forever? But what about... It's all right, kiddo. I'm afraid you suffer from a complete lack of imagination. There's just no helping it. Now then, where's Joseph? Have a good night, Mark. Thanks for hanging out. You didn't take the opportunity to slip off, did you? Ah, there he is. Everyone should give him a hand. None of this would have been possible without Joseph. I think you've said enough. Nonsense. These people deserve to know how helpful and loyal you've been. I only did what I did because he left me no choice. You always had a choice, Joseph. You were simply too weak to take it. No matter, cheer up. You're about to be rich beyond your wildest dreams. You should follow Mr. Kerr's example. When I found him, he was in a sorrier state than any of you. An aging actor, desperate to recapture his youth. He played his part, and soon he'll be able to play the leading man again. Forever, in fact, if he remains loyal. That goes for all of you. Well, those who haven't already frittered away my goodwill. Beacon Pines is mine again, and I am willing to share its spoils in exchange for absolute loyalty. Are you saying William Kerr was never in charge of pruning the harvest? Ha! You think that puffed-up blatherskite could have accomplished all this? Dawn, I suppose it's time for your big exclusive.
Sharper addressed the crowd with indignant pride. He'd planned this moment for so long that now, at the deed's fruition, it almost felt frivolous.
You see, I needed a figurehead to hold things down while I orchestrated my return. Someone to misdirect, lie, and bilk this town for a spell. So I invented William Kerr. Take your bow. You've earned it.
Mr. Kerr flourished a preposterously elaborate bow.
Patrick C. Montesquieu, thespian extraordinaire, at your service. Founder, I just want to thank you again for this opportunity. It was truly the role of a lifetime. Wait. So this Bill Kerr was Pat C. the whole time? Now your secret's out in the open. What's to stop this town from rising up against you? Oh, that's the delicious part. Fear. Thanks to our clipboards, I know what each and every person in this town fears the most. And will make those fears manifest for anyone who steps out of line. The choice is simple. I'm not afraid of you. Ah, the young hero. I've kept a keen eye on you, boy. You and your friends made a habit of disrupting my plans. What a pity. If things would have gone a bit differently, you might have had your moment of triumph. But that's fate for you. You can't do this. Oh, but I can. I have won. Never underestimate what a great man can do, given time. And now time is my plaything. Perhaps the most expensive thing I've ever bought. But well worth it. Ha!
Sharper coughed up one final laugh and cracked his knuckles.
Enough chit-chat. Let's get to work, shall we?
And so, Sharper set about remaking the town in his own image. The fertilizer factory soon reopened for business. Sales rose steadily as more and more farmers across the countryside began to swear by its miraculous properties. Beacon Pines became famous. A secretive town that, for the right price, shared its gifts with all. Gifts that became more and more necessary in a world where winters grew longer and longer.
I don't like that.
The end. This is wrong, but things are becoming clearer now. You can feel it, right?
We're nearing the end.
We can't let Sharper win. He might just be the key to this whole thing. Let's see.
So we still have Weep. Do we have any new things open up? Malice. So we had that open up. I think I will end it here though, because it looks like we still have a good portion of things to go through. But holy fuck, there were so many twists and turns and so much unexpected detail until like right at the last minute. I'm really hoping you guys are enjoying the story because, like, I'll be honest, I think about this game quite a lot, and this is my first playthrough, but man, I want to keep playing it. It's really good. It started off so innocent too. Like, we're just gonna go play, we're gonna go hang out with Rollo. We want to be little silly goofy detectives, heroes, whatever. And then it turned so quickly. To what we have now. This has been one pretty steady path, which is interesting. This one has kind of branched off a little bit more, but now I'm wondering with this that it'll branch even further. Oh, thankfully it auto-saves. But oh my god. Ooh, okay. Well, let us find someone to raid. Oh, someone. Nope, that's not real. Oh yeah, Scotty Don't playing me side or my side. I've heard of the game. We have Flan playing Slay the Princess. Ethan's with Minecraft. Let's see. Let's go. We haven't seen Scotty in a while. Let's go raid Scotty. Alright. Go ahead and copy one of those. Just gonna... That is super loud, sorry. Go ahead and copy one of those. Go say hi to Scotty. I've been his friend for quite some time now. Super nice. Very good energy, high energy. I will see you Friday. We're going to finally get some ASMR reading in, start off the new year. We were supposed to end off the year with it, but we didn't, so oops. That's when I got sick, so didn't happen. But hope you all have a lovely rest of your day. Stay safe, stay hydrated, and I'll see you on Friday for some reading. And yeah, bye bye.